God says, "This is my last warning. I am not pleased. The mistake you made is critical. Listen to God now before it's too late. Don't skip God. Listen carefully, because this moment is not ordinary, and it is not something to ignore. I am speaking to you now because the decision you made has opened a door that can lead you away from the peace and protection I prepared for your life. If you turn away from these words, you may miss the very correction that was meant to protect your future and restore what has been shaken. Stay here and listen with your heart, because what you hear now can change the direction of your life forever. I am calling you back before the damage becomes deeper than it needs to be. Type Amen if you believe God is guiding you right now. I see everything that happens in the quiet corners of your life. I see the choice you made that felt small in the moment, but carries weight in the spiritual path you are walking. My warning is not coming from anger that wishes to harm you, but from a love that refuses to let you fall into a deeper pit. The mistake you made has begun to shape your thoughts, your direction, and the people you allow near your heart. I am speaking now because I refuse to let you drift further without hearing my voice calling you back. You have been chosen for more than confusion and regret. I did not design your life to be a place where fear, guilt, and wandering take control of your days. When I say I am not pleased, I am revealing that your heart has stepped away from the path that was protecting you. Yet even in this warning, there is mercy flowing toward you like a river that refuses to run dry. I am correcting you because your destiny is too valuable to be lost in one careless decision. Pause for a moment and open your spirit to what I am saying. The mistake you made may have seemed justified when you looked at it through your pain or frustration. You may have believed that no one would notice, or that it would not matter in the larger story of your life. But I notice every step because I walk with you through every season. I know how one small step can quietly pull you further from the peace I planned for your heart. If these words are touching your spirit right now, take a moment to press like on this video so more hearts searching for truth can find guidance and hope tonight. Understand something important about this warning. I am not speaking to shame you or push you away from my presence. I am speaking because I am still standing beside you, reaching for your hand before the distance grows wider. Many people keep walking after their mistakes until they cannot hear my voice anymore. I am stopping you now so that your story does not become one of silent regret and lost direction. You may already feel the weight of what happened. Perhaps your thoughts have been restless, and your heart has been unsettled since that moment. That feeling inside you is not random, because it is the quiet whisper of my spirit reminding you that you belong on a different path. I planted a light inside your soul that recognizes truth, even when your mind tries to justify the wrong choice. That light is still alive within you, and it is why these words are reaching your heart. I want you to understand how much power there is in turning back now. A mistake does not define your life unless you refuse to change direction. The moment you choose humility and honesty before me, the chains that formed around your spirit begin to break. I restore people who listen when I correct them. I strengthen those who admit their weakness and ask me to guide them again. This warning is also a promise hidden inside strong words. When I correct someone, it means I still have plans for them that cannot be abandoned. If I had turned away from you, you would not be hearing my voice now. The fact that you are here listening means heaven has not given up on your story. I am still writing chapters of blessing, protection, and purpose into your life. But do not ignore the seriousness of this moment. The mistake you made was critical because it touched the direction of your heart. When your heart drifts, your decisions follow that drift. And soon your entire life begins moving toward a place that was never meant for you. That is why I am calling you back now, while the path can still be corrected. I am drawing a line in this moment so you can step back onto the road of peace and strength. Type 777 to receive the blessings God still has prepared for you. I know the struggles you carry that led you to this decision. I saw the pressure that surrounded you and the emotions that clouded your thinking. Your pain did not surprise me, and your confusion did not push me away. Even when you stepped in the wrong direction, my eyes remained on you with a love that refuses to disappear. My correction is proof that my presence has never left your side. Right now, you are standing in a moment of choice. You can ignore what your heart is hearing and continue forward as if nothing happened. Or you can stop, breathe deeply, and allow my wisdom to guide you back into alignment with the life I prepared for you. The road of restoration begins with one humble step toward truth. When you take that step, you will discover that my mercy is greater than the mistake that brought you here. Do not be afraid of turning back toward me. I am not waiting with rejection or anger that destroys hope. I am waiting with open arms, ready to rebuild the strength that was shaken. The same power that formed the mountains and filled the oceans with life is ready to restore the peace inside your heart. My warning today is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a deeper walk with me. Could a hidden CIA discovery explain why so many are suddenly living in luxury? Secret CIA research has now come to light, revealing a brain-hacking ritual that draws in wealth like magic. It only takes 7 seconds. You can do it at home, and it's supported by 4 neuroscience labs. People are ditching debt and living in luxury right now. But this information won't stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. The warning I gave you was not meant to leave you in fear, but to open your eyes to the path that must now be corrected. When you recognize where you stepped away from truth, you also discover the doorway that leads back to peace. The mistake you made did not happen in isolation. It grew slowly from thoughts that were allowed to remain in your heart without being tested by wisdom. A small compromise began to feel acceptable, and then another step followed behind it. Before you realized what was happening, your heart started drifting away from the direction that once gave you clarity and strength. This is how many people lose their way, not through one dramatic fall, but through quiet moments where they stop listening to my guidance. Yet I am reminding you again that you are not abandoned. I would not be speaking to you with this urgency if your life no longer mattered to the plans I created for you. I see the future that still waits for you beyond this moment, and it is filled with opportunities, restoration, and peace that you cannot yet imagine. But that future requires a heart that is willing to be honest and willing to return to the path that leads toward life instead of confusion. My voice is calling you now because I know the strength that still lives inside you. Sometimes you look at your mistake and you feel a heavy weight of regret pressing down on your thoughts. You wonder if the damage has already gone too far or if you have disappointed me beyond repair. I want you to hear this clearly in your spirit today. My correction is not rejection. My warning is not abandonment. I correct those who still belong to my purpose because I refuse to allow them to destroy the future I prepared for them. Type 222 if you trust God, even when correction is difficult. I want you to understand something deeper about the moment you are in. When a warning arrives in your life, it is not simply about the past mistake. It is about the direction your life will take from this point forward. Every decision after this moment will either move you closer to the peace I prepared or further into confusion that slowly drains your strength. That is why I am speaking so clearly to you now, because the next steps you take matter more than the mistake that already happened. You have felt the quiet tension inside your spirit since that decision. At times, you tried to ignore it by distracting yourself with other thoughts or responsibilities. But the truth kept returning because the light I placed inside you refuses to remain silent when something is wrong. That inner tension is not meant to punish you. It is meant to guide you back to a place where your heart feels clean and your mind feels steady again. Many people spend years trying to silence that inner voice instead of listening to it. They bury the warning under pride, excuses, or stubbornness. Slowly their hearts grow distant, and their ability to hear my guidance fades away. I do not want that to happen to you. That is why my words are reaching you now, while your heart is still sensitive enough to respond. The path back to alignment begins with honesty. Speak to me openly about the mistake without hiding behind excuses. When you remove the layers of pride and admit where you stepped away from truth, something powerful begins to happen inside your spirit. The walls that formed around your heart start to crumble. My grace flows into the space where guilt once lived. When you walk humbly before me, restoration becomes possible in ways you never expected. I do not simply erase the mistake and leave you unchanged. I transform the experience into wisdom that protects your future decisions. The very moment that once threatened your direction becomes the moment that strengthens your character. This is how I turn broken paths into testimonies of growth and redemption. Type yes to affirm that you are ready to walk with God again. Look closely at the season you are living in right now. There are challenges around you that require clarity and strength. Your future cannot be built on a foundation of confusion or hidden regret. You need a heart that is aligned with truth, so that every step forward is supported by peace and confidence. That is why correcting this moment matters more than you may realize. I have placed purpose inside you that reaches far beyond your current struggles. There are people who will one day be encouraged by your story. There are moments ahead where your faith will help guide someone who feels lost. The life I designed for you includes influence, compassion, and strength that grows from the lessons you learn along the way. But that influence begins with the choices you make in private moments like this one. When you choose to return to the path of integrity, something powerful shifts in the spiritual atmosphere around you. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open quietly. Opportunities appear that you did not see before because your heart is no longer clouded by inner conflict. Peace becomes a companion that walks beside you instead of a distant feeling you cannot reach. I want you to notice the courage it takes to listen to correction. Many people run away from it because they fear what it will reveal about themselves. But you have stayed here and continued listening. That decision alone shows that your heart still desires truth more than comfort. That desire is a seed of strength growing inside your life. You are not defined by the moment you fell short. You are defined by the moment you rise again with humility and renewed faith. My power is always ready to lift those who reach for my guidance with sincerity. When you stand up again with a heart that is willing to learn, you step back into the flow of purpose that I prepared for you long before this mistake happened. Have you heard about the top-secret ritual the government wants to keep hidden? Imagine if a single 7-second ritual could clear your debts and draw wealth to you effortlessly. A leaked CIA report and 4 leading neuroscience labs confirm it's not a myth. Struggling families are moving into dream homes with total peace of mind. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. The road ahead will require patience and awareness. You must guard your thoughts more carefully and remain attentive to the quiet guidance I give you. Small decisions shape the direction of your life, and each one deserves careful attention. When you walk closely with me, even the smallest steps become opportunities for wisdom and growth. Remember that I am not standing far away watching your struggle from a distance. I am walking beside you through every moment of your journey. My strength is available when your own strength feels weak. My wisdom is ready when confusion tries to cloud your mind. My presence surrounds you even when you feel uncertain about the next step. The warning I gave you earlier was not meant to leave fear in your heart. It was meant to awaken your awareness so that you could step back into alignment with the life that still waits for you. When you respond to that warning with humility, you unlock a deeper level of growth that many people never reach. I am speaking to you now because your story is not finished and your purpose has not been cancelled. The mistake you made was serious, but it is not stronger than the power I carry to restore and guide your life. What matters now is the direction you choose from this moment forward. Many people misunderstand warnings when they come from me. They imagine that a warning means everything is already lost and that judgment has already been decided. But a true warning from me is actually an act of deep mercy. It is a moment where heaven reaches down and interrupts a path before it becomes destruction. I speak strongly because the future I prepared for you is too valuable to be damaged by one moment of carelessness. You may still feel the echo of regret inside your thoughts. Perhaps you replay the moment of that mistake and wish you could return to the exact second when the choice was still in your hands. Your mind might ask why you allowed that decision to happen when you knew in your heart something was not right. I see that struggle clearly, and I understand the weight it places on your spirit. But dwelling only on regret will not bring you into the healing that your heart needs. Healing begins when you accept the truth and then choose to walk forward with wisdom. I am not calling you to remain trapped in the memory of the mistake. I am calling you to rise above it and learn from the lesson it revealed. When a person grows from correction, their spirit becomes stronger than before the fall. That strength becomes a shield, protecting them from the same trap in the future. The mistake you made opened your eyes to something important about your heart. It showed you the areas where fear, impatience, or distraction had quietly taken control of your thinking. These are the places where growth must now begin. When you invite my presence into those areas of weakness, transformation starts to take place. The same place that once produced the mistake becomes the place where wisdom begins to grow. Type 1111 to affirm that you walk by faith and not by fear. I want you to understand that correction is one of the ways I prepare people for the greater blessings ahead. If your heart remained careless and unaware, the responsibilities waiting in your future would become overwhelming. But when you learn through correction, your spirit becomes steady and mature. You gain the clarity needed to carry the purpose that has been placed inside you. The warning you received is actually part of your preparation. There are moments in every life when a person stands at a turning point. These moments may not look dramatic from the outside, but spiritually they carry enormous importance. Right now you are standing at one of those turning points. The direction you choose after hearing this warning will shape the next chapter of your life. You can either allow the mistake to push you further away from truth or allow it to draw you closer to wisdom. I see the strength that still lives inside you. Even when your thoughts were confused and your heart felt uncertain, the desire to find the right path never completely disappeared. That quiet desire is the reason you are still listening to these words now. It is the spark of faith that continues to glow inside your spirit. I placed that spark inside you so it could guide you back whenever you drifted too far. There is also something you must understand about forgiveness. Many people believe forgiveness means pretending the mistake never happened. But true forgiveness is deeper than that. It means acknowledging the wrong step while allowing my grace to remove the chains of guilt that try to bind your heart. Forgiveness restores your ability to walk forward with confidence and hope. Type 1212 if you trust in Jesus to guide your steps. When forgiveness enters your life, peace begins to replace the anxiety that once followed you. The heavy weight that sat on your shoulders slowly lifts. Your mind becomes clear again, and your heart begins to feel light instead of burdened. This transformation does not happen because the mistake disappeared. It happens because grace has taken its place and opened a new beginning for your life. I want you to remember that my purpose for you has not changed. The calling I placed inside your spirit still exists exactly where it was before the mistake occurred. Your destiny was not erased by one wrong decision. My plans are stronger than that moment of weakness. When you return to me with sincerity, those plans begin to unfold again. There are blessings waiting ahead that you cannot yet see. Some of them are opportunities that will open in unexpected ways. Others are relationships that will bring encouragement and support into your life. Still others are moments where your faith will become a light, guiding someone else through their own struggles. All of these things remain part of the future I prepared for you. Could the CIA really be hiding a 7-second ritual that turns money struggles into fortune? A covert CIA finding exposes a strange 7-second ritual that activates money-attracting brainwaves on autopilot. Supported by science and 4 elite labs, this home ritual is turning struggling people into dream lifestyle owners. But this page may disappear soon. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted from the internet forever. But walking toward that future requires a heart that remains attentive to my voice. The lesson from this moment must stay alive in your awareness. Each time you face a difficult decision, remember how important it is to pause and listen. My guidance often comes quietly, but it always carries wisdom that protects your life. Your journey is not meant to be perfect. Every person who walks with me experiences moments of weakness and learning. What separates growth from destruction is the willingness to listen when correction arrives. Those who listen grow stronger. Those who ignore the warning continue walking into deeper confusion. Today you have chosen to listen, and that choice has already begun shaping a better future. Do not allow shame to convince you that you are unworthy of my presence. Shame tries to build walls between your heart and my love, but my love breaks through those walls whenever you turn toward me with humility. I welcome those who return because their hearts have become open to transformation. The strength you need for the days ahead will come from staying close to my guidance. When you begin each day with a heart that seeks wisdom, your steps become more secure. Decisions become clearer because your spirit is no longer clouded by doubt. Peace begins to lead you instead of confusion. Remember that you are not walking this path alone. My presence surrounds you even when your eyes cannot see it. My protection stands beside you in moments when fear tries to rise. My love continues to reach for you every time your heart grows tired. This companionship is a gift that will remain with you through every season of your life. The warning you heard earlier was not meant to push you away. It was meant to bring you closer to the truth that leads to freedom. Now that you have heard and understood it, the next step is to walk forward with renewed awareness. Let your choices reflect the wisdom you have received. The mistake that troubled your path was not stronger than my power to restore you. What truly matters is how you respond after seeing the truth. When someone humbles their heart and chooses growth instead of denial, the atmosphere around their life begins to shift. Peace starts to return where anxiety once lived. Confidence replaces the confusion that once clouded the mind. You must also understand that the enemy of your peace often tries to speak loudly after a mistake. It tries to convince you that your failure is permanent. It whispers that you are no longer worthy of the future that once seemed possible, but those whispers are not truth. They are shadows meant to distract you from the grace that is still flowing toward your life. My voice speaks differently. I acknowledge the mistake because truth must always be faced. Yet I also remind you that your story does not end in that moment. When you rise again with humility, the next chapter of your life becomes stronger than the previous one. This is how redemption works within the hearts of those who trust my guidance. You may still feel a quiet sadness when you remember the moment you stepped away from the right path. That feeling is natural because your heart recognizes the value of what was almost lost. But do not allow that sadness to become a prison around your spirit. Let it instead become a reminder of how precious your walk with me truly is. Every step you take now has the power to rebuild what was shaken. Small choices made with honesty and patience create a foundation that grows stronger each day. Over time, you will notice that your confidence begins to return. Your spirit will feel lighter because you are no longer carrying the burden of hidden regret. Type 1010 to claim the miracles God is preparing for your life. I want you to see how much courage it takes to walk this path of correction and renewal. Many people turn away from it because they are afraid to face their own weaknesses. But you have remained here listening and reflecting. That shows that your heart still values truth more than comfort. This courage will become one of the greatest strengths in your journey ahead. You may not see it yet, but the experience you are living through will one day become wisdom that guides others. There will be moments when someone near you struggles with a similar mistake. Your story will help them see that restoration is possible. Your growth will become a light that helps them believe they can rise again as well. This is how purpose often grows in unexpected places. The very moment that once seemed like failure becomes the foundation of compassion and understanding. Instead of judging others for their mistakes, you will recognize the struggle they face. Your words will carry empathy because you have walked through correction yourself. The path ahead will require patience with yourself. Growth does not always happen in one sudden moment. It unfolds slowly as your heart learns new habits and your mind becomes more attentive to wisdom. Each day you choose honesty and humility. Another layer of strength forms inside your spirit. I am guiding you through this process step by step. When you feel uncertain about the next decision, pause and listen. My guidance often arrives quietly through peace or a gentle sense of direction in your heart. Trust that voice when it leads you away from confusion and toward integrity. That guidance is one of the greatest gifts I have placed within you. Type 777 to receive the blessings that are still waiting for you. I want you to imagine what your life will look like when you continue walking in this renewed awareness. The confusion that once surrounded your decisions will fade. The peace inside your heart will become steady instead of fragile. You will begin to see opportunities clearly because your thoughts are no longer distracted by guilt or uncertainty. Blessings often arrive in the lives of those who remain attentive to truth. They appear as doors opening in unexpected places. They appear as relationships that bring encouragement and strength. They appear as moments where your faith grows deeper than it has ever been before. These blessings are not random events. They are the result of a heart that chooses alignment with wisdom. You were never meant to walk through life feeling lost or disconnected from your purpose. I created you with intention and care. Every gift inside you was placed there for a reason. When you walk closely with my guidance, those gifts begin to shine in ways that bring hope to others and fulfillment to your own spirit. Why are so many claiming this CIA ritual changed their life in just 7 seconds? This leaked CIA ritual is the real deal, and it's potent. A 7-second brainwave hack, backed by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping regular people leap from broke to abundant. Dream homes, cars, trips, it's all within reach. But this video could disappear any time from the internet. So click the link in the description and comments now to see it before it's gone forever. Remember that your value has never been measured by your mistakes. Your value comes from the life I breathed into you and the purpose I placed within your soul. That value does not disappear when you fall short. It remains constant, waiting for you to stand up again and continue walking forward. The correction you received earlier was not a door closing on your future. It was a door opening toward a deeper understanding of who you are meant to become. When you look back on this moment one day, you will see that it was the beginning of a stronger and more faithful chapter in your life. There will still be challenges ahead, because every journey includes moments that test your patience and faith, but you will face those challenges with a different heart now. Instead of reacting quickly or carelessly, you will pause and listen for wisdom. That simple change will protect you from many of the traps that once surrounded your path. I want you to carry one important truth with you as you move forward. You are never walking alone, even when the road feels uncertain. My presence surrounds your life in ways you cannot always see. My strength stands beside you when your own strength feels weak. My guidance continues to speak quietly whenever your heart is willing to listen. The warning that began this conversation was not meant to frighten you. It was meant to awaken you. It was meant to remind you that your life matters too much to be guided by careless decisions. Now that your awareness has been opened, the path ahead holds new possibilities for growth and peace. The warning I spoke earlier was meant to wake you up, not to break you down. When a person receives correction and listens carefully, their spirit becomes stronger than before. Awareness begins to replace carelessness, and patience begins to replace impulsive decisions. These small changes may seem simple, but they carry great power over the direction of your life. A heart that learns from correction becomes steady even in difficult moments. You are beginning to see that this experience is not just about one mistake. It is about learning how to walk more carefully and faithfully from this point forward. Life will continue bringing decisions into your path, some small and some very important. Each decision is an opportunity to choose wisdom instead of confusion. When you remember the lesson of this moment, those choices will become clearer. I also want you to understand that I never stopped watching over you, even when your steps were uncertain. My presence did not disappear when you made that critical mistake. Instead, I stayed close so I could guide you back before the distance between us grew too wide. That is the love I carry for those who belong to me. I remain near even when the path becomes difficult. Type 1111 if you walk forward in faith today. You might still wonder why the warning sounded so serious. The reason is simple and important. Sometimes a small mistake can quietly grow into a larger pattern if it is ignored. One careless step can open the door for many more. When that pattern continues unchecked, it slowly leads a person away from the life that was meant for them. That is why I spoke firmly to you. I wanted to stop that pattern before it had time to grow. When correction arrives early, it protects your future in ways you cannot yet see. What seemed like a sharp warning is actually a shield placed around your destiny. It is better to hear a strong voice now than to face deep regret later. You have also learned something important about your own heart during this moment. You discovered that you are capable of reflection and humility. Many people resist correction because pride blocks their ability to see truth. But you remained here and listened carefully. That choice shows that your heart is still open to transformation. Humility is one of the greatest strengths a person can carry. It allows wisdom to enter places where pride once stood. When humility guides your thoughts, you become teachable and aware. This quality will protect you throughout the many seasons that still lie ahead. The path forward now becomes clearer with each moment of understanding. Instead of focusing on the mistake, begin focusing on the new direction that has opened before you. Every step taken with honesty and patience rebuilds the foundation of your life. Over time, that foundation becomes stronger than it ever was before. If these words are bringing clarity to your heart right now, Take a moment to press like on this video so others who need guidance can find these words as well. Your future is not defined by the moment when you stumbled. It is defined by the moment when you choose to stand again and walk forward with wisdom. This is the turning point that shapes the rest of your story. From this moment on, your awareness will guide your decisions in a deeper way. I want you to remember that growth often begins quietly. It does not always appear dramatic or immediate. Instead, it forms slowly as your thoughts become more careful and your actions more intentional. Each day you choose wisdom over impulse, the change becomes stronger. Soon you will notice something different about your life. Situations that once confused you will become easier to understand. Decisions that once felt rushed will now feel calmer and clearer. This change will not happen because the world around you suddenly became simple. It will happen because your heart learned to listen before acting. Type 222 if you trust God to guide your next steps. Another important lesson from this moment is the value of awareness. When you remain aware of your thoughts and actions, you prevent small mistakes from growing into larger problems. Awareness keeps your spirit attentive and ready to choose what is right. It acts like a light that reveals the path before you. What's really behind the 7-second brain technique that's making headlines and new millionaires? A stunning CIA leak has just revealed a 7-second brain ritual that's helping normal people wipe out debt and attract serious wealth. With proof from 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning financial stress into dream living. Homes, cars, vacations, it's all happening. But the government could take this down at any time. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. Many people move through life without this awareness. They rush through decisions without pausing to reflect. As a result, they repeat the same mistakes again and again. But you are now learning a different way to walk. You are learning to pause, reflect, and choose carefully. That simple habit will protect your peace more than you realize. When you slow down and listen for wisdom, you avoid many unnecessary struggles. Your mind remains clear because it is not burdened by constant regret. Your heart remains calm because it knows you are walking with intention. Remember that my presence remains with you in every moment. I do not appear only during warnings or corrections. I walk beside you during ordinary days as well. My guidance is always available whenever you choose to listen. Sometimes that guidance will appear as a quiet feeling of peace about a decision. Other times it may appear as a gentle hesitation that asks you to wait and think again. Learning to recognize these signals will strengthen your walk with me. They are signs that your spirit is becoming more aligned with wisdom. The experience you are living through now will one day become a reminder of how powerful correction can be. Instead of seeing it as something negative, you will see it as a turning point that helped shape a better future. Many people wish they had listened earlier when a warning first appeared. You have been given the opportunity to respond while the path is still open. That opportunity is a gift. It shows that your story is still unfolding with purpose. Every step you take from here will carry the knowledge you gained from this moment. That knowledge will continue guiding you long after this conversation ends. The warning that began this moment was strong because the direction of your life matters greatly. When a path begins to shift in the wrong direction, it must be corrected before the distance becomes too great. A traveler who notices the wrong road early can still turn around with ease. But someone who ignores the signs for too long eventually finds themselves far from where they were meant to be. My voice spoke firmly so that your path could be corrected before that distance grew deeper. You might be wondering why such a strong call came into your life now. The reason is connected to the future that is waiting for you. There are moments approaching in your life that will require clarity, strength, and wisdom. Those moments cannot be carried by a heart that is distracted or uncertain. They require a spirit that understands the importance of every decision. What you are learning right now is preparing you for those future responsibilities. Every experience that shapes your heart is part of a greater preparation. The warning you heard is not just about protecting you from a mistake. It is also about strengthening your ability to recognize truth more quickly in the future. When you face another important decision, this moment will return to your memory. It will remind you to slow down, listen carefully, and choose the path that brings peace instead of confusion. Type 1212 if you trust in Jesus to guide your future. The process of growth often feels uncomfortable at first. That discomfort comes from the awareness that something inside us must change. But change guided by truth is always a blessing in disguise. It removes the habits that once held you back and replaces them with wisdom that leads you forward. The discomfort eventually fades, and what remains is a stronger and more peaceful heart. You are now entering a stage of your life where awareness will guide your steps more than before. Instead of rushing through decisions, you will begin to notice the quiet signals that appear within your spirit. Those signals are not random feelings. They are part of the guidance I place inside every person who seeks truth. Learning to recognize them will protect you in ways you cannot yet imagine. There will still be moments when life tests your patience and understanding. Every journey includes challenges that reveal the strength of your character. But the difference now is that you are becoming more aware of how to respond to those challenges. Instead of reacting with impulse, you will pause and consider the path that leads to peace. That pause will become one of the greatest tools you carry. The mistake that once troubled your heart will gradually lose its power over your thoughts. As time moves forward and your choices reflect wisdom, the memory of that moment will transform into something different. Instead of shame, it will become a reminder of how far you have grown. It will show you the exact point where your life began to move toward greater awareness. Type 777 to receive the blessings God still has prepared for you. I want you to understand how valuable this transformation truly is. Many people continue repeating the same patterns for years because they never stop to reflect. They keep moving through life without recognizing the lessons placed in their path. But you have chosen a different way. You have allowed correction to open your eyes and strengthen your understanding. This choice will influence every area of your life moving forward. Your relationships will become healthier because you will approach them with patience and honesty. Your decisions will become wiser because you will no longer act without reflection. Even your inner peace will grow stronger because your spirit is learning to remain aligned with truth. Peace is one of the greatest gifts I place inside a life that walks with awareness. When your heart is aligned with wisdom, you no longer carry the heavy weight of constant doubt. Your mind becomes clear because you know that your choices are guided by reflection and honesty. This peace does not depend on perfect circumstances. It grows from the stability inside your spirit. There will be days ahead when you look back on this moment and feel gratitude instead of discomfort. You will realize that the warning you received was actually a turning point that protected your future. Without that correction, your path might have continued drifting further away from the life meant for you. But because you listened, your direction has changed. Your story continues unfolding with purpose. The chapters ahead will include opportunities that require the wisdom you are gaining now. You will encounter moments where your insight helps you make decisions that once would have confused you. Each of those moments will confirm that the lesson you learned here truly shaped your future. Is it finally time to try the same CIA secret ritual that's changing lives in seconds? This newly leaked CIA-backed study reveals a 7-second money ritual transforming lives overnight. Scientifically validated by 4 neuroscience labs, it rewires your mind to attract money like a magnet. People once broke are now enjoying luxury homes, new cars, and exotic travel. But this secret won't be online much longer. Click the description and comments now to access it before it's permanently removed. I am guiding you toward a life where awareness and peace walk beside you every day. That life does not mean you will never face difficulty again. Challenges will still appear because every person grows through experience. But those challenges will no longer control your direction. Instead, they will become opportunities for wisdom to shine. Remember that my presence continues to walk with you through every step of this journey. You are not expected to carry these lessons alone. My guidance remains available whenever you pause and listen with sincerity. When you invite that guidance into your decisions, your path becomes clearer and your spirit becomes stronger. The warning that started this moment has now begun transforming into understanding. What once felt heavy is slowly becoming a source of strength and awareness. This is how growth unfolds when a heart chooses to listen instead of turning away. The warning that came earlier was not meant to leave fear inside your heart. Fear does not build wisdom. Fear only traps a person in regret and uncertainty. My purpose was to awaken your awareness so that your life could return to the path of clarity and purpose that was prepared for you. You are now beginning to see that the mistake was not the end of your story. It was a moment that opened your eyes to the importance of listening carefully before every step. A person who learns this lesson gains something far more valuable than comfort. They gain the ability to walk through life with discernment and patience. Discernment is the quiet wisdom that helps you recognize the difference between a path that leads to peace and a path that leads to confusion. Many people walk without this awareness. They rush through decisions and only realize the consequences after the damage has already been done. But you are learning to move differently now. Type 1111 if you choose to walk in faith and wisdom. Your awareness is becoming sharper because you allowed correction to reach your heart. Instead of rejecting it, you listened and reflected. That reflection is creating a deeper understanding inside your spirit. Soon you will notice that your thoughts begin pausing before important decisions. That pause will become a shield protecting your future. You may not realize how important that simple pause truly is. It allows wisdom to enter before action takes place. It allows your heart to recognize whether a choice brings peace or uneasiness. When you listen to that inner guidance, many unnecessary struggles disappear before they even begin. I want you to understand something else about the journey you are walking. Growth does not mean you will never face mistakes again. Every human being continues learning throughout their life. But growth means that each lesson strengthens your awareness so that the same mistake does not repeat itself in the same way. That is exactly what is happening inside you now. The moment that once seemed like failure is quietly becoming a source of wisdom. Your mind is learning to recognize the early signs of confusion. Your spirit is becoming more attentive to the quiet signals that guide you toward the right path. If these words are helping your heart feel lighter and clearer right now, take a moment to press like on this video so others searching for direction can find this encouragement too. Your life is not defined by the moment you stumbled. It is defined by the direction you choose after that moment. Right now you are choosing growth. You are choosing awareness. You are choosing to walk with wisdom instead of rushing through life without reflection. This choice may feel simple, but it carries powerful consequences for the future ahead of you. When a person walks with awareness, they avoid many of the traps that once caused pain. They recognize warning signs earlier. They pause before making decisions that could lead to regret. Type 1010 to claim the miracles that are still ahead in your life. There are blessings waiting in the chapters of your life that have not yet been written. Some of those blessings will arrive through opportunities you never expected. Others will arrive through relationships that bring encouragement and support into your life. Many of them will appear quietly, growing stronger over time. These blessings are not random. They are connected to the direction of your heart. When your heart moves toward wisdom, the path before you begins to open in ways that once seemed impossible. Doors appear where there were once only walls. This is why awareness is so important. It keeps your life aligned with the path that leads toward those opportunities. Without awareness, people often walk past the very blessings meant for them. They become distracted by temporary emotions or careless decisions. But you are learning to walk differently now. You are learning to slow down, listen, and recognize the quiet guidance placed within your spirit. That guidance is one of the greatest gifts you carry. Remember that I am walking beside you through every moment of this journey. My presence is not distant or hidden from you. It is available whenever you pause and invite wisdom into your thoughts. When you listen carefully, you will begin to recognize that guidance more clearly. Sometimes it will appear as a sense of peace about a decision. Other times it will appear as a gentle hesitation telling you to wait and think again. Learning to recognize these signals will protect your path more than you realize. The experience you are living through now is shaping your ability to hear that guidance more clearly. What once felt confusing will gradually become easier to understand. Your spirit is learning how to recognize truth before confusion takes control. One day you will look back on this moment and realize it was a turning point in your life. The warning that once sounded strong will be remembered as the moment your awareness awakened. Instead of continuing down a careless path, you stopped and listened. That decision changed the direction of your story. Your life continues moving forward with purpose. The chapters ahead still hold growth, peace, and opportunities that will shape who you become. Each step taken with awareness builds a stronger foundation for the future. Why is the government working so hard to bury this 7-second brain ritual? A stunning CIA leak has just exposed a 7-second brain ritual, now allowing regular people to clear debt and invite unstoppable wealth. Supported by 4 neuroscience labs, this easy at-home method is transforming financial struggles into dream lifestyles. New homes, vehicles, vacations, it's all becoming possible. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. The warning that reached you earlier was never meant to trap you in fear or shame. Its purpose was to wake up the deeper awareness that lives inside your spirit. Awareness is the beginning of wisdom, because once a person sees clearly, they can no longer pretend they are walking in the dark. You are beginning to see your life with a clearer vision than before. That clarity will become one of the greatest strengths you carry into the future. When a person learns to recognize the moment where they went wrong, they gain the power to correct their path before the damage becomes deeper. This is what you are doing now. Instead of ignoring the lesson, you are allowing it to shape the direction of your life. That decision will protect you more than you realize. Type yes to affirm that you are walking forward with God. You may still remember the moment of the mistake with a sense of heaviness in your heart. That feeling does not mean you are weak. It means your spirit understands the value of walking in truth. When your heart recognizes that value, it naturally desires to move away from anything that pulls it in the wrong direction. The important thing now is not to remain stuck in that moment. A person who only looks backward cannot see the path opening in front of them. Your future is still moving forward, and it carries opportunities that require the wisdom you are gaining right now. The lesson from this moment is preparing you for those opportunities. There will be situations ahead where your awareness will guide you to make better decisions than you would have made before. You will pause when something feels uncertain. You will listen when your spirit signals caution. You will recognize the difference between a path that leads to peace and one that leads to confusion. These small moments of awareness will quietly shape the direction of your life. While others may rush through decisions without reflection, you will move with patience and understanding. That difference will protect you from many struggles that once seemed unavoidable. I want you to understand how powerful patience truly is. Patience allows wisdom to appear before action takes place. When you give yourself time to reflect, your heart becomes calm enough to recognize what is right. Many mistakes happen simply because people move too quickly without pausing to listen. If these words are helping you see your path more clearly, take a moment to press like on this video so more people searching for guidance can find encouragement here as well. Your life is not meant to be guided by impulse or confusion. It is meant to be guided by awareness, patience, and faith. When these qualities shape your decisions, your path becomes steadier and your spirit becomes stronger. The experience you walked through has given you something many people spend years trying to understand. It has shown you the importance of listening before acting. This lesson will stay with you for the rest of your life if you allow it to. Type 222 if you trust God to guide your next step. The future in front of you still carries blessings that have not yet appeared. Some of them will arrive quietly through moments of opportunity. Others will come through people who encourage and strengthen your spirit. Still others will appear through the peace that grows inside your heart as you continue walking with wisdom. Blessings often grow where awareness and faith walk together. When a person listens carefully and chooses wisely, they naturally move toward opportunities that align with their purpose. Their path becomes clearer because they are no longer distracted by careless decisions. You were created with intention and purpose. The gifts placed inside your life were never meant to remain hidden or wasted. When you walk with awareness, those gifts begin to appear more clearly in the way you live and the way you help others. There will come a time when someone near you struggles with the same kind of mistake you once faced. Because of the lesson you learned, you will be able to guide them with compassion instead of judgment. Your experience will become wisdom that helps someone else find their way. This is how purpose often grows. What once seemed like a failure becomes the very lesson that strengthens another person's journey. The moment that once felt heavy becomes the foundation of understanding and empathy. Your life is moving forward with greater clarity now. Each day you continue walking with patience and awareness, your spirit becomes more aligned with peace. That peace is not something fragile that disappears when challenges appear. It is something strong that remains steady even when life becomes difficult. Remember that you are not walking through this journey alone. My presence remains beside you in every season. When you feel uncertain, you can pause and listen for the quiet guidance that speaks within your heart. That guidance is always there for those who choose to listen. The warning that began this journey has now become something different. It has become understanding. It has become awareness. It has become the beginning of a wiser chapter in your life. The moment you heard the warning earlier was not just a single moment. It was the beginning of a change in how you will walk through life from now on. Many people hear warnings, but allow them to pass like a brief sound in the distance. They feel the weight of the words for a short time and then return to the same habits that once led them into trouble. But the deeper purpose of a warning is not to cause temporary emotion. Its purpose is to awaken lasting awareness. That awareness is slowly forming inside you now. You are beginning to notice the difference between reacting quickly and responding with wisdom. When you react quickly, decisions are often shaped by emotion, frustration, or pressure. But when you respond with wisdom, you allow time for truth to guide your steps. That difference may seem small, yet it can completely change the direction of your life. Type Amen if you believe God is guiding your path. Do you know why everyone's whispering about this 7-second CIA ritual? A brainwave ritual leaked from the CIA is changing lives across the globe. Proven by neuroscience, this 7-second method helps regular people attract money, freedom, and luxury. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. Think about how many situations in life are shaped by a single decision made too quickly. Words spoken in haste can damage relationships that once brought joy. Choices made without reflection can lead a person far away from the life they truly desired. But when patience becomes part of your character, those moments begin to unfold differently. You pause, you listen, and you recognize the path that leads toward peace. This is one of the greatest lessons your heart is receiving right now. You are learning to slow down before every important step. That pause creates space for wisdom to appear. It gives your spirit time to recognize the quiet guidance that was always present but often ignored. I want you to understand that awareness is not something that appears only once. It grows stronger every time you choose to listen instead of rushing forward. Each moment of reflection strengthens your ability to see clearly. Over time, this awareness becomes part of who you are. If these words are helping your spirit feel clearer right now, take a moment to press like on this video so others searching for direction can discover these words as well.